So this came out yesterday. Yeah, the list, and that's just the largest Catholic Church sexual abuse settlements. But 2 new funds were established. I asked AI, how often Candace Owens, Tucker, Rogan, all your big time podcasters touch on this pandemic. Candace Owens, of course, because she's a Catholic, she only touches on it. Most of them, Joe Rogan early in his career had said that it was the Vatican is filled with pedophiles. But he too, all of them wrap it up into an institutional problem. Because none of them, they'll go after Israel, they'll go after AIPAC, they'll go after all this other bullshit, all while skating around, never addressing that. You want to talk about institution, that's the first church. And then your Protestants, they have a problem in it too. Southern Baptist Convention. God wants you to come out of the church. You never needed it. The reason his church was before all of this nightmare, when it was just the apostles, it was a community of people. When you can know God all the time, at any time, he's always there. He's the one that is always there, that will never leave. Then you going to church on Sunday is, how does that even make sense? Because he knew, because God knows best, he knew that if they create the structure, they'll create the patriarch system, they'll create the hierarchy, then there'll be more that will take from that first institution, that first church, and it will lead to this pandemic of child abuse. Where's the millstones? I hear everybody carry on like hypocrites about Epstein, but nobody looking at the first church. And the thing is, I'm going to just say it straight. Everybody in these churches, you hold a responsibility for this happening. You do. Because you make excuses and you protect your denomination, you protect your church structure rather than follow God. If you cannot have God without your church structure, then you never knew God to begin with. There will be nobody that will say the truth on this. Nobody. Because from the politicians to every institution will say, no, we need the church because we need order, and people might not pray then. No, people can pray to God and talk to God far more without the church. Because it wasn't what Jesus was setting up. They all just do their own thing. But if people were made to understand that when you have the Spirit of God here, then you always have the church. God will bring you together with others. He will have community, just like the apostles that knew Jesus did it. All these other churches, they have the religion of Paul. This is why God said in Revelations, come out of her, my children. Come out of the churches. They are the false prophets. I understand that there's some that likely, they mean well, okay? If yours is some community thing, then no, you don't. But the top denominations are all part of the problem. Not even just the top, Presbyterian too. Because when you have the institution, you hit the institutionalized church, then you have the hierarchy system that then can bury all this, and it goes on forever. And God's been patient about this. God's been so patient understanding that, yes, people think they're doing the right thing and that they're seeking me in these churches, not realizing that because they keep going and they keep giving money to it, they continue the abuse, whether it goes on in their church or not. And these hypocrites, these absolute hypocrites that serve the Vatican, Candace Owens, Turning Point, Charlie Kirk. I mean, this is why Kirk wanted you to venerate Mary. They all serve the damn Vatican. Erica Kirk. These are all people that have no integrity. They follow a different God. This is why I get to this place. It's like, these people are just wicked. I try to see it like maybe they're not wicked. Maybe they're just misguided. I think most of the people that follow these fools are misguided. But them themselves, your Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point, the people that run these it's like, no, I have a really difficult time seeing them as not wicked. I have a really difficult time seeing the government as not wicked. I mean, this is out of control. It is a pandemic worse than COVID. And yet it just kind of, we just touch on it. Tucker says, we get Epstein because of this institutional problem. We'll call out where the institution and the moral decay started, Tucker or Candace or any of you people with your millions of people that follow you. The moral decay started because that first church was never with Christ. It's just like the group homes, how I said, as a nurse, I saw how it's like, how could Catholic charities, how could the Catholic Church manage to get so many people in the group homes that have these rap sheets? Well, because they go out of their way to put those people in there. Just like the Catholic Church goes out of its way to make pedophiles into priests. So while everybody wants to blame Israel and blame the Jews and blame AIPAC, just realize all of these people have been taking you down a road where none of the bastards want to address the true problem, and it's at that first church. And because all the other churches took from that, that's why they have a problem of child molestation too. Because at the end of the day, God will say, I didn't build anything. I wasn't creating a structure. I wanted you to have the spirit of me in here. And when you have me in here, then you know. You will know what I want. And if you surrender to me every day, then I'm going to use you. As you get to know him. But he will. The Old Testament prophets, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Amos, was he one? Moses, all of them, okay? They weren't following a written law. They weren't, there was the 10 Commandments, yes, but there wasn't a book they were following. They were following the Spirit of God in here, telling them what to do, putting the words in their mouth. Why would you think that when because what Jesus did when he came was now that was going to be available to anybody that wanted to know him. So why would you think it's any different than that? It's not. That's why all of the churches have become corrupt. Again, they all took from the first church there, the one that has a child molestation problem, which is why they have one too. But really the problem is then they make it all about the book, as I said. Well, how is it about the book if you have the Spirit of God in here? This is the authority. It's literally in the scriptures in the Old and New Testament that I will put the law on your heart. I will put the law in your mind. All of these people never want to address the true problem. And because nobody addresses that true problem, all these other churches have a problem too. It's a pandemic, and nobody will address it. Where are the millstones? We should have a ton of millstones. But instead, everybody wants to be hypocrites.